Hey guys, welcome back to the DM and Friends. I'm DM Angelo, and this is going to be a collaborative effort with Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern. We came up with this topic today, and he's going to do a video on it. I'm doing this video, and you'll get to, if you go over and watch his, and I'll put it up in the notes and put a card up here. Go check out what he has to say, see what I have to say, and you'll get two perspectives. All right, so here we go. So this one is why old school D&D feels more dangerous, right? So I think today, a lot of newer players almost immediately when they sit down at an old school table, they say, "Wow, old school D&D feels dangerous," right? Um, to them it feels unpredictable. Sometimes it even can be unfair. And if you're coming from modern RPGs, that could be a shock because modern games tend to assume something's very different around about the world, right? Encounters are balanced, characters are durable, and the system kind of protects the players a bit, right? Old school games, they don't do that. Now, a lot of people assume danger comes from things like low hit points and harsh rules, right? But that's not really the core of it. The real reason old school D&D feels dangerous comes from how the game is structured. And the rules assume the world exists independently of the players, and the players have to survive inside of it. So today I want to talk about and go through 9 reasons that I feel old school, D&D feels more dangerous than modern RPGs. All right, well, this is number one, and this is what I've come up with. Number one, the world isn't balanced for the party, right? So, I've talked about this in other videos, and I think it's a core truth. The first, it isn't balanced at all around the party. So, like modern RPG designs often build encounters specifically around character level, right? That's not a mystery. The idea is that every fight should be challenging but fair, right? Old school D&D doesn't assume that at all. You might open the door of, and find a bunch of goblins, right, in one room, and then you might open the next door and find something that could wipe the party out, in 30 seconds. The game expects players to figure out danger level themselves. Sometimes that means fighting, negotiating. Sometimes it means backing away slowly and finding another path, right? The dungeon isn't there to provide fair fights, and I firmly believe that about old school. So here's another mechanic or a thing that's kind of ingrained in old school, and that is retreat. Because encounters aren't balanced, right? Old school play assumes something that modern game often I think forget, right? Running away is absolutely normal. Retreat is actually built into the rules. There are pursuit mechanics. Movement rates do matter. Old school trick. You can spike doors, block corridors. Drop obstacles. Escaping a bad situation isn't failure. And I've done videos on this and talked about it. And I really believe it's true. It's survival. In fact, experienced players quickly learned that some of the most important skills in old school gaming is recognizing when you're way over your head. And if you assume that you should stand and fight, I think the dungeon is going to teach you otherwise pretty quickly in old school. So my third point is resource attrition, right? So another huge piece of danger is losing and depletion of resources, right? So old school adventures slowly grind down the party over time, and not just in a way of where your resources get kind of depleted. Torches are going to run out, right? That's obvious. Spells are going to run out. Rations matter in the game. Encumbrance is going to matter. That affects you. And hit points are limited. So deeper the party gets into the dungeon, the weaker they become. And that's why you see a lot of go in, do a level or do as far as they can, and then go back to town and rest, and then come back, and the dungeon changes and all that kind of stuff. So they might survive the first few encounters, but after an hour or two underground, with spells gone and torches burning low, the situation starts to feel a little, very different, right? And that's where I think tension builds. Because the question becomes to the party, like, do we push deeper, or are we going to try to get out alive? So number 4, save or die effects, right? I mean, this is gnarly. Old school games often contain something that modern systems tend to soften quite a bit, and that is save or die effects, right? So you have, in BX, there's you can get bit by a centipede, it's save or die, and then the centipede, it's petrification, disintegration. I mean, these are, you either save or you succumb to these different things, right? Certain traps or monsters can remove a character from play immediately if a saving throw has failed. Now that sounds brutal, and sometimes it is, right? But these threats, these kind of threats usually come with clues, right? So as a DM, you're not going to just throw that at somebody. Maybe like a basilisk lair might be covered with bones, right? And that might freak the party out. They might be a little more cautious, or a trapped chest, shows some types of, some signs of tampering. A corridor might smell of strange before poison gas triggers. As a DM, there's ways of softening that, even though I don't want to get into all that, but I'll get into something later about this, but these clues can be dropped, right? Not just save or die. The game expects the party to notice danger and respond to it carefully, right? So if the group rushes ahead blindly, the world's going to punish them, and it could be save or die. So number 5, traps require player thinking, right? So this is a big one, I think, for versus modern play. In old school play, right, traps aren't usually solved by rolling a skill check, right? They're solved by player thinking. Players tap floors with the 10-foot pole. They might check hinges on the doors. Examine statues very carefully. They test suspicious objects before touching them, right? There's countless examples of that. And that's instead of saying I roll perception, and players actually have to interact with the environment in old school, and that creates a totally entirely different feeling at the table. Danger comes from how carefully the players investigate the world, not just the numbers on their character sheet, right? Okay, so number 6. This is pretty unique, because I see a lot of. Let me just get into it. So, another thing that is how characters are created, right? So random character creation, right? So in most old school games, characters are created or rolled randomly. So you don't build perfect heroes. The roll the dice. You roll the dice to see what fate gives you, and then you choose your character. That often produces imperfect parties. Maybe nobody rolled a strong fighter in the group. Maybe the party magic user has terrible hit points. They usually do. And maybe the cleric is barely qualified. But that's part of the charm of old school. The party isn't optimized right out the gate. They're just a group of adventurers trying to survive, right? So, anyways, yeah, and I've seen in a lot of kind of the newer school where you pick from an array, and I think 4E was like that. You had an array of points, and you put them where you want as far as for abilities. I mean, there's no randomness there. The randomness is you putting it where you want, and but in old school, it's 3d6 or 46 drop, or there's all kinds of methods to roll up a character, but that's a full blown random. And obviously, there's DMs that play differently. I sometimes do, but anyways, that's a fundamental difference. So number 7, yeah, number 7. So slow healing, all right. And I've house ruled this on my campaign, but I'll get into that in another game, another video. Healing works very differently in old school, right? In early editions of D&D, natural healing is extremely low. I think it's somewhere written where a full night's rest is 1 hit point back. I've modified that, but in modern games, it's way different. You can do a short rest and get all your hit points back. I don't even know, but a full night's rest will restore 1 hit point, and that means injuries linger, right? Danger is going to matter because of that. If the party takes a beating, it might take days to recover if they don't have healing potions or a cleric or something like that. Clerical magic becomes extremely valuable in old school, and players quickly learn that avoiding unnecessary fights is often the smartest move. And we talk about retreat, or thinking a little more. Because if you lose half your hit points, you're not bouncing back immediately. All right, so here's number 8. Okay, number 8, the dungeon is an ecosystem, right? Old school dungeons also behave more like living environments, and this is just my take. Monsters don't just sit there quietly in rooms waiting to be attacked, right? They move, they patrol, they hear noise, they react to intruders. Excuse me. If the enemies escape, they might warn others, and they might come back stronger. The dungeon starts to feel less like a railroady sequence of encounters and more like a place that actually exists. And I try to do that in my games, where there is an ecosystem and there's a reason why people are where they are. And when the players realize that the dungeon is reacting to them, right, things start to get tense. And I've seen it in a lot of my games. Okay, so here is number 9. Okay, player skill over character skill. And this is a huge difference that I believe people find like, oh crap, makes the game a lot more dangerous. And it might be one of the most important of all. Old school play emphasizes on player skill over character skill, right? The player themselves have to make good decisions, right? They have to observe carefully. They have to negotiate, plan, adapt. The rules don't protect them from bad choices, right? If a group makes smart decisions, they survive. If they make reckless decisions, the dungeon the dungeon can be unforgiving, right? And that responsibility is what creates so much tension and excitement. What it means by player skill over character skill. In old school, there isn't a skill for every single, like I was just talking about perception, right? Players have to use their brains, have to check the room, like with the poll or search everywhere. There's not just a standard skill on your character sheet that, oh, I automatically find this secret door or see this pit trap or notice this about what this NPC is doing or wearing. It's an active thing that the players have to do and have to choose to do as a part of old school gaming. There isn't a stat on on your sheet to cover every single thing in the dungeon. So that was my 9 thing. So there is also kind of structural pressure of the game, right? And this is not numbered. I just wanted to kind of bring this up too. Old school uses a set of kind of procedures that constantly apply pressure to the party, which is a form of making it more dangerous, I believe. And that is things like reaction rolls, right? Morale checks, wandering monsters. Not that that's not in some of the newer RPGs, but that's something that I want to focus on too here. And time, dungeon turns. These mechanics mean the dungeon is never static, right? Creatures react unpredictably because of reaction. Enemies might flee or surrender because of morale. And the longer the party stays underground, the greater the chance something finds them, wandering monsters. Time itself becomes dangerous, right? In many ways. And I've done videos on this. Maybe I'll link it. And that's what, time is, time can destroy resources. And, there's all kinds of things that when time comes into play, that is a pressure cooker for the game. And that is a key to old school gaming. And I think when you combine those 4 things I just talked about, the result of the game, the results is of every decision is going to matter. God, that was hard for me to get out. So anyways, all right, you guys. Well, in closing, so when people say old school D&D feels more dangerous, right? They're absolutely right. But it's not just because characters are fragile. It's because the entire system is built around exploration, risk, and consequences. The world isn't balanced for you. Resources are going to run out. The dungeon reacts to your presence. It's not just there as a static thing. And the players themselves have to think carefully about every single move they make. And honestly, that's when a party finally, limps back to town and, with treasure, and everyone's still alive, and it feels like they actually earned it. All right. All right, everyone. That was my take on it. I really, it's my opinion, and I think that old school D&D is a lot more dangerous, feels a lot more dangerous than some of the modern stuff, modern versions and stuff like that. And these were my reasons why, I think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who also loves old school gaming. All right, you guys, I am DM Angelo. This is the DM and Friends, and I am so glad that you are here with me. And as always, take care of each other and yourself. Keep gaming, and bye-bye.